What's good? It's Ozman the Wizard.
And Naima.
This is not
another damn podcast.
Presented by
Our Damn Selves.
So 242.
242, yes. Yay. Yay.
Nice little extended weekend for most of y'all. Happy MLK weekend. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah. When did
I'm going to remember that coming out.
When did it shift from to Stevie Wonder from the holiday holla? Because I remember that growing up, the one with the rappers and that one. It's like the holiday. I don't know if you remember that one.
I don't remember that one. So you see me looking like
that was the song in the 80s and early 90s, and now it's switched back to Martin Luther King. I mean, the Stevie Wonder one, the MLK
Martin Luther King, happy birthday to you. It was always that to be happy birthday.
While it was the other one, the holiday one. Yeah.
Maybe if I hear it, I probably will know if I hear it.
Definitely.
If I hear it, I probably will. I'm just more familiar.
Copyright strikes, I'm definitely not playing.
Oh, yeah, we don't need that. Yeah, we don't need that.
I'm not trying to hang out with the fresh and fit guys. But let's want to get the sad news out of the way first. It's quite a few. I had a personal one first before we go into the national stories. My homegirl Mayha, she lost her father.
Oh,
rest in peace. And she posted hashtag 93rd Street Legend, which he is.
I know, yeah.
Her father, who don't know anybody who grew up over east.
Over east, yeah. You grew up over east.
93rd and Chappelle, like right there. Like that. His dad owned that store.
Yeah, which is a block off of Jeffrey.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, if you don't know over east, it's a block off of Jeffrey off of 93rd. And
hashtag
her dad on the lives.
Hashtag 93rd Street Legend. So I reached out to my sister Mayha. She's because we lost our father years ago, so we know what she's going through. So I'm just keeping an eye on. So rest in peace to Mayha's pops, and I'm looking out for her and her sister Marlene. So Mayha and Marlene, I'll stay strong, my sisters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had to put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to her pop store back in the day because
we used to go after school. I would get my
like 2 blocks from there. I remember school was
the blue raspberry blow pops, because those was popular when I was a kid. The blue raspberry blow pops, and I would get
the Evans corn chips.
The Evans corn chips, Evans hot corn chips. Yes,
I used to buy those there all the time. 99 cents for the big bag.
Mm-hmm. I would get the pickle, the Holton pickle, in the pack, in the vacuum pack, the Holton pickles.
The J's salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar, yeah.
Salt and sour back then.
Salt and sour back then. I've always liked salt and sour chips.
The J's salt and sour chips. I used to
the Laffy Taffy. The Laffy Taffies.
Yeah, she put hashtag Laffy Taffy man in there.
I guess they were big.
Yeah.
They used to look like big ass now layers. They used to look like big ass now layers.
Yeah, put Laffy.
Where they changed, where they made flat. And the Jolly Ranchers, the wine candy, be in the containers. Yeah, you get the. See, we going back now. See, I'm having happy memories. I'm going back.
You put a lot of money in your family's pockets, man.
Yeah.
That was our spot. I don't know. Yeah.
That was because I could see it was like 2 blocks from our grade school, from our grammar school.
You stop by, grab a snack. Yeah.
My governor, like, hey, I'm gonna stop over at Lies. Give me some snacks. That's what you would do. You get your snacks and. Oh.
But yeah, I'm checking on my sister, just making sure she's good.
Mm-hmm.
So she's had a rough couple weeks because she just got over the Omicron. Yeah, she just got over that too. So to go from that to your pops dying is rough.
Yeah, this has just been a rough. This has just been extremely difficult. Like just this whole time, this whole pandemic it just seems to be pouring. Like it's raining and it's like we're just pouring. It's like no, like can we get some sun? Can we get a rainbow? Can we get some, some happiness? Some birds chirping? Can we get that? It's just incredibly sad.
And then what we missed out on last week, like right after we wrapped recording, we found out that Mr. Bob Saget had died. Like, yeah, that happened like Probably about an hour after we finished recording left. We had just finished it. And then I said, "Oh, Bob Saget." That's because I sent you the art.
And I was like, "What?"
I know you grew up a huge Full House fan.
I was a huge Full House, and I liked America's Funniest Home Videos.
That's the show I'm most known for. I wasn't a big Full House guy, but
I love Full House.
AFV, America's Funniest Home Videos. That's what I know.
Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Yeah, I was a Full House nerd. I did watch Full House. I admit that.
America. I know that. Yeah. And my favorite is that it's not even Bob Saget.
I'm kidding.
Parodied the shit on In Living Color. At the time, they were like opposite of them. They came on at the same time, Sunday night, 7:00. So I think that's why they parodied them, because that was their competition. They came on opposite each other, those shows. So he did the Jim. Which sounded nothing like Bob Saget, but it was still funny nonetheless. It's like Jim Carrey's impression of Bob Saget.
His interpretation of what he thought. That was his vision of what he thought that Bob Saget was like. But if people knew like the real Bob, like Bob was nothing like Daddy Tanner. Daddy Tanner was very clean laced and he was tidy man. Like he always would be like, let's keep the house clean. Michelle, go to your room. DJ, Stephanie, he was really, he was a typical TV dad. But he was like dorky and he was so lovable because he was a sweet guy, but he was a little over compulsive with his cleaning and stuff, but he was a nice guy. You really liked Daddy Tanner. But then when you flip it, you see how Bob Saget was at his stand-up, because I remember you put me on Bob Saget's stand-up and you was like, he ain't nothing like Daddy Tanner. Because I didn't know that, because like when we went and saw Half Baked, remember we saw Half Baked movie? If you guys don't know, Half Baked came out in 97, starred Dave Chappelle. Bob Saget had a brief cameo.
Everybody.
Clarence Williams III. Mona from Half and Half. There you go. I couldn't think of her name.
Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong was in the shit.
Yes. Whatchamacallit, Guillermo Diaz was in it. Yeah.
Jim Brewer, who played the crazy guy by Brian.
Brian. Oh, I love Brian.
I like Jim. Jim Brewer's a funny motherfucker.
He's funny. He's hilarious.
If you stand up to.
I just didn't know his name, but every time I see him, I just go, "It's Brian." I don't know his name. I just go, "It's Brian" when I see him. Whatchamacallit, the one. There's something about Mary. 7-minute abs. 7. He was in it. He was the other friend.
Yeah. So, what's the name? Snoop Dogg had a cameo in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Jon Stewart. On weed. Jon Stewart.
Janine Garofalo.
Yeah.
What do you think of my poem? And she was crazy as hell.
Willie Nelson and shit.
That's the old weed smoker.
The world's oldest smoker. I really think it's something that Willie Nelson is going to live forever because of the weed, I think. Yeah.
He's smoking that Cheech and Chong. And they up there too, Cheech and Chong.
Tommy Chong was in it. Yeah,
they still puffing too. So it's something to that.
And Chong are both still alive. I'm just saying.
You puff weed, hey, you live. You puff weed, you live.
Shout out to DJ Ferris. Yeah.
Snoop Dogg getting up there now too. He getting older. He getting older. But my favorite, like when I saw that in Half Baked, when you took me to Half Baked and we saw that.
We saw it in the show. We just saw it twice. We saw it. We liked it so much the first time, we went and saw it a second.
We sat through it again. When Bob Saget said his line in the movie.
Because Bill went to an AA meeting or some shit
went to Narcotics Anonymous or whatever. He went for like an addiction because he was like, okay, I'm gonna kick
weed, and everybody's like, weed. Everybody
was like, that's not a drug.
Everybody in the meeting got mad and like, really, like,
what addiction meetings are supposed to be? It's supposed to be a safe space, so it's supposed to be no judgment. You're supposed to be able to go in and express your demons, like, hey, I was on these drugs. I stole money from my mom. I stole money from my brother. You're supposed to be able to share this and not be judged for it. But the fact that they judged him, it was like, weed ain't no real drug. It was like, get the fuck out of here, basically, to him. And Bob Saget's character says that he used to suck dick for. He says that I used to have to.
Have you ever sucked dick for weed?
For coke? Have you ever sucked dick for weed? Have you ever done that? Have you? Like the way he was like. So when he said that, I was like, OMG.
You had only seen him as Danny
right,
Tanner.
I always see him as Danny Tanner.
And I think was Full House was probably still on the air during that time. So
no, it was off. It was just it was a syndication. It
just went off there. I don't know what year that show went off there. Okay.
It went off like 95, I want to say, or 90.
So that was like 97. So it was like not too long. A couple of years. So it had been
a couple years after, yeah. So it was just shocking to see him
it
do
was still
that.
on at the same time. Okay. But
and when I said that, you was like, man, you was like, Bob Saget ain't nothing like, you was like, nah, he a funny dude. You was like, Bob Saget got that heat. You was like, Bob Saget's funny. You was like, don't sleep on Bob Saget. You remember you telling me that.
Rest in peace to him. Was he 65?
65,
so not even that old. They saying it was a heart attack is what it's looking like. Yeah,
that's what it's looking like because they said it didn't look like any foul play. They said it looked like no drugs were involved, nothing like that.
Just done a show that night before.
He done a show. That's so crazy.
And then he was like plugging the show he had that night, like he was on Twitter. Yeah, like see you all tonight in Jacksonville or whatever he said.
He was so happy because he was like, I can't believe I did a 2-hour set. It feels good being on stage again. Like he was so happy because he was on a tour. So he was super happy to be back on the road on tour and everything.
Like that's like the best place they love being is on stage.
They love being on stage. Yeah, if you're a stand-up comic, you love being on the stage. You love it.
Even though he's like the acting is cool, like hosting the show was cool, America's Fun, but like being on stage was like
being on stage because that energy that you just get from the crowd, that energy,
that instant feedback. Well, you don't get that, like on other, you get that instant feedback from the crowd. And like most comedians say, like that's the place they rather.
They love it, yeah.
Stage, yeah.
And they found him in his hotel room because they said that his family, when they called him and he didn't answer, the family asked security to go do a wellness check on him because they were like, it wasn't like him to not answer calls. Like, when they would call him.
Called him or something like that. I want to say.
Yeah.
I think it was something.
And then they found him unresponsive and that's when he was pronounced. And it's just really sad. It's just awful that he,
And Dave didn't say that because I think Dave said that he didn't get to return a text from him. She said,
"Yeah, and that's the thing that makes you like."
That's
the thing that's going to sit with him forever.
Dave, like not too far before he died, like right around there. And Dave didn't.
He texted him right before he died.
He didn't get the text.
Yeah, because Dave said that he just didn't see the text. Like he was just, he just like sometimes we're busy, and sometimes we just like you may look at
so probably on tour himself right now, I believe.
Right. And here's what you may do. Like you may look and have every intention, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna hit so-and-so back when I get out. I'm gonna hit them right back when I get off stage. There's something else coming when you get off stage. Now you start doing something else and you start, you know what I mean? You start doing other stuff and you forget. But I mean, I know that he's hurting with that because it's like, that was like the last time that you could have talked to like your friend, So I mean, I just feel really awful for like the whole situation, for everybody involved. It's just. And I saw the tribute that John Stamos gave to him. Like John Stamos gave a really nice tribute.
From Full House.
Mm-hmm. And so did Dave Coulier. Dave Coulier gave a nice one too. I hadn't seen like the girls yet. I didn't see the girls yet.
Twins or Candace
or Jody. Yeah, I haven't seen the girls yet, but the guys definitely.
I forgot her name. Yes.
Yeah, the guys definitely were hurting because like. As they said that we actually became a family. Like it just wasn't like they actually
I've been on TV sets. Those are some long days. So a lot of times, like you spend more time with them than you do with your real family.
With your real family, yeah.
Your family. Because you with them like 12, 13, 14 hours a day. You with them longer than you are with your own family a lot of times. Yeah.
And the interesting thing also is that Dave and Bob were actually friends because, they came up along the comedy circuit together. Like they were up and coming comics together. So then when they got on Full House and then when they met John, it was just kind of like, okay, are we going to mesh with John? And then they meshed with him. Like, even though they had knew each other prior to.
Soap opera world. He wasn't from the comedy world. He was from a whole.
Yeah, he was Blackie on, what show was that? Not Ryan's. It was one of those shows.
No, I didn't watch none of that shit.
It was one of those shows because I know his name was Blackie because Mom kept on saying that's Blackie from whatever soap opera, and I'm like, who is she? Like, that's Blackie. And I was like, no, that's Blackie.
Yeah, I was just saying it was General Hospital. I just made that up.
It was one of those shows. Because my mom was like, he rode a motorcycle, and he was like the kind of like the bad, like the bad boy motorcycle, that type of with the hair and all that. That's what his character was. But
rest in peace.
A really sad loss for the comedy world, for the TV sitcom world for us. So I saw a post that somebody said, first we lost our grandmother, Betty White. Now we lose our father, Bob Saget. It's like, and then our other grandfather, Sidney Poitier. Like we look like our grandfather. So it's like
OG.
Yeah.
And another legend we lost, which we didn't mention, but I mentioned now, James Ntume. I don't know if you know.
Ntume, yeah. From you know very well.
Hey, for those that don't know, I gotta do it properly. Yeah, I gotta do it properly. For those that don't know, like Ntume, he wrote the.
You saw it right into singing it.
Y'all know that track, yeah, the Juicy Fruit track. Some of the most famous drums ever. Yeah, that. And that if you don't know the original song, you definitely know the Biggie version.
Yeah,
Biggie remade it in the 90s. It was all a dream. It used to read
Word Up magazine. And if you don't know that, then you're just too damn young. You don't know Biggie. You're just really young. You're super young.
Ntume was the front man from the group Ntume. Yeah.
Yeah, Ntume. Because I saw that come up. I was like, oh, Ntume passed away.
And they also made You, Me, and He. That they had some hits.
Yeah.
Juicy Fruit.
I know I'd be listening to The Groove. Showing my age, I listen to The Groove. Chill 50 on Sirius XM.
He was 76 years old.
Yeah, he was 76.
So I was like, we losing our legends, man.
And that's the thing I keep on saying about what sucks about getting older. Like getting older is like, yeah, you see so much life and you see so much evolution, but then all your people that you grew up watching that you watch every week. Like I said, I watched Full House every week when it was on there. I was a huge Full House fan. You know, I watched the Golden Girls with Mom. Like, I mean, I watched Sidney Poitier movie. I watched Uptown Saturday Night.
Baby. Little Seymour and Big Percy.
I did watch Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. I think I watched it in the class. I think it may have been like when we won my race. I somehow remember watching that in class. For something. I remember watching
on Saturday night last week. Streaming. Oh, I didn't stream it. I bought it on Amazon. Yeah, I bought it on Amazon.
I might have to do that. I might have to buy it on Amazon. I might have to do that. We need to build up our library anyway. But yeah, like I said, I always say that it just sucks getting older for that reason, because when you see, you know, like parts of your childhood just going away. But
they were edgy for their era. For the 80s, they were edgy. Because in the Juicy Fruit record is I'll be your lollipop.
You can lick me everywhere.
It sounds like tame now, but like 40 years ago, that was very edgy, that line.
It sounds tame next to hands on my knees, you can ass on my thigh. It sounds tame next to that. But
or the wet ass pussy.
Right.
Weak.
Meg Thee Stallion on both sides.
Guardian Meg and all of those broads. It's like, it's tame now, but you can lick me everywhere in the 80s. Yeah, that was edgy. And I was a kid.
As soon as you started,
I heard Tom Joyner then play that on the radio. I'm like, heard that on GCI back in the day.
Well, GCI, Tom Joyner. Oh. It's the Tom Joyner Morning Show.
From my other guy, Doug Banks. Juicy Fruit by Ntume on the Doug Banks Show. You hear that?
That's spot on. That's a spot on impression. That's actually pretty good. Well, I mean, you do Doug, so I mean, we work with Doug, so that's a spot on.
I studied him before I met him, and then I worked with him when I got in it.
Right.
Yeah, he was
like Oz. When he be talking to Oz.
Like I imitated, yeah. But yes, I had to get those legends out. We lost, yeah. Said the last two we mentioned were Bob Saget and James Ntume. I had to mention those two. And once again, 93rd Street legend Mayha's dad. Yeah, so
2022. Let's stop it for now. Let's pump the brakes. Let's have some positive stuff.
Only halfway through January. Come on, it's still very early. Still got a lot of year left. Like, come on.
I think I am going to start doing the calendar thing, like how they did. They have Antonio Brown now on the calendar for January. They have now on the calendar.
Want to talk about Antonio Brown getting naked? Do you want to look? We didn't talk about him. Talk about Antonio. Yeah, that's how you quit. That's how you quit. For those that know Antonio Brown from the Buccaneers, yeah, he had some heat with his coach. He got into it with his coach, and then that's why he did what he did. He was like, you know what?
Yeah. But he released receipts now, because now it's not looking like, because people are trying to write him off as like acting out and acting crazy, but it's like he's like, they knew that I wasn't right. They knew I was injured and they was trying to force me to play, and I know my body. Mm-hmm. I ain't want to play. And as an athlete, you do sometimes gotta take your, because your body is how you make your money. Your body is your temple. Your body is everything to you. You get injured, and like we say, football contracts ain't guaranteed.
Yep. Like those are not fully guaranteed. So like you get
They're
hurt.
not.
You get hurt. Yeah. And then
let's be real, a lot of people are supporting. You're supporting your mama, your cousin. You might be sending your sister to med school. You supporting a lot of people. A lot of these players are, and you get injured.
You gotta have multiple baby mamas. You like sitting
that part. Yeah. So it's a whole thing about really knowing when to sit out and listen to your body, because as an athlete, your body is your bread and butter. That's how you make your money. So you want to make sure that you're in tip top. If you be like, hey, if I play on this leg, or if I throw it, I get one more hit, I could be done. I ain't going. But he released a receipt showing that, like here's the text messages between. It's like, oh, so now it's getting it's getting juicy. Okay, he got a leg to stand on. Like, it's not just I acted out, because the thing is, like, if you act out insubordination, like we know that insubordination at any job is instant termination. If you're insubordinate, I'm not doing this.
You can't be a fool at work, basically.
Yeah, you can't do that at work. You can't. But if you got receipts showing that, hey, I have an underlying thing and you're trying to force me, now that makes it a whole different scenario now.
Looking back, you're gonna appreciate this. You remember I was just talking to our brother Kareem, like shout him out for mentioning this right before we sat down to record. He's like, who back in the day said they were going out like that? And Antonio Brown actually did it. Remember, like Dennis Rodman said he was going to end his career that way. He said I'm gonna strip naked and walk off the court naked like that.
I would have paid way to see that. Rodman.
It never, everybody thought it never happened because like Dennis' career kind of just ended. But yeah, that'd have been. He's like, Dennis was like, nobody has ever done that before, so that's how I want to end my career. Just like after the last game, just strip naked and like streak off the court, like Dennis said he was going to end his career. So Brown's the closest to that. Like this is what
Dennis was like girlfriends. He never got a final episode. Basically, yeah. Dennis never got his final episode.
Dennis's last days was sad to watch and shit. When he was with the Mavericks, I don't know if you remember that shit. Like Dennis the Mavericks. Exactly, you don't even remember Dallas Mavericks.
Dirk?
The same Mavericks. He was teammates with Dirk. That's all we said. Dirk played on the same team. It sounds made up, but that happened. Yeah. Dennis was on the map, and he was like, it was like he started having one of his episodes. So then Mark Cuban just cut him next day, and that was the end of his career.
That sounded like Mark Cuban. He just.
I think Rodman, he sat out in the middle of the lane, like when because I guess he was protesting the foul they called him, and while the opponent was shooting a free throw, Rodman just sits down in the middle of the lane, like the kids sit down, like he just sat in the middle of the lane like that with his legs crossed and said that. And so then, like, Mark Cuban was, okay, we got to get rid of this motherfucker. They just cut him right after, and then that was it for Rodman. Like, he never played again.
I didn't even know he played with them. You saw my shot. I thought he was with the Mavericks.
Nobody, like, the time with the Mavericks and the Lakers pretty much never counted. You probably forgot about that, too, with the Lakers. Like those never happened. Like, his glory days.
I vaguely remember the Lakers. Vaguely, very, 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 very vaguely remember the Lakers. Vaguely.
Most people know him either from the Bad Boys or the Bulls. Some know him from the Spurs. Like almost nobody knows him from.
Yeah, because the Spurs thing is did he have like a gun or something in the car?
That was what got him traded to the Spurs.
Yeah, that's what I said. Did he have a gun? And that's what happened.
I was outside the palace, and
that's what it was. Okay, I knew it was like a gun situation or something.
Yeah, he was like he wrote about that in his book. Yeah, about he was suicidal. He did write about that. Yeah. But he fell asleep though. That's the thing. So he did go and he had every intention of offing himself, but then he like fell asleep. And then the cops found him like in there with the gun and his laughing. So that's what, yeah. And then the Pistons said, okay, we got to get him out of here.
We got to get you out of here.
The next day, they traded him to San Antonio right after that shit. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, he didn't fit in. We know how the Spurs get down. So, like, that's how the Bulls got him for a bag of chips, basically. Shout out Will Perdue and shit like that.
Will Perdue. Well, we love you on
now back with the Bulls. Yeah, shout out Will.
We Perdue. Love you on the post game, on the pregame and post game. So we like you on the
post game, and you're the reason we got Rodman. So we like you for both of those reasons. Because without
Perdue, he does do good on there. He does do good on the show. I like Will on there.
That's the guy that got us Dennis Rodman. For those the kids watching, the guy on the post game, he's the one that how he got Rodman from the Bulls back in the day.
And when he talks about stuff, like he knows of what he speaks. Like I know a lot of like that's how we know it. How we say we're getting older because
he was part of the first.
That's how we always say we know. Like when people be talking about what is Stacey Kane? Stacey Kane won 3 rings with the Bulls.
It's a thing, like Stacey and Will Perdue, they were both pretty much bench warmers, but they were there.
They were there.
They were there during that first point run. Yeah.
The first repeat, yeah. They were there. 91, 92, 93, they was there.
Yeah. They were definitely there. They both were part of Will Perdue even used to joke about it during the rallies. He was like, "Yeah, I had a hell of a seat for this championship run." He would basically make fun of himself, like. You watch some of those old rallies, he's like, yeah, you had a great seat for this championship game. He like he never played, so he would make fun of himself. Like when they bring all the players up to like address the crowd, he'd be like, I had the best seat in the house watching the game. Like
everybody needs a hype man, so hey, everybody needs a hype man.
Best seat in the house watching the Bulls win a championship. Joke about himself.
A great salary for it too.
Definitely making like because they said he was the original triple double. Remember, like people made fun. It was like, yeah, it was like 2 points, 2 rebounds, $2 million, something like that. So you think he was getting like $2 million a year for that shit, basically? Like he used to make Will triple original Mr. Triple Double.
Where do I start?
2 rebounds, $2 million. Like that.
Like where do I start up there to do that job?
Since we here, one of the
for the young people who don't know.
Since we here, we might as well go into basketball. Since we here right now,
I know.
Let's do our injury report first. I got a couple of injuries to talk about.
Yes, a couple of injuries.
Couple of injuries. We'll start with our Bulls. Zach LaVine. He had a scary looking knee injury, but it turns out it was his MRI was negative, so it wasn't as serious as originally thought.
Yeah, they said it was just some swelling because we know that he's had an ACL tear and
he had that when the Bulls acquired him. Remember, he was recovering from he missed pretty much his first season in Chicago because of that knee injury. His second season.
So the reason So if you've ever had a serious injury like that, like obviously, like we don't even think about the injury because when Zach can 360 dunk and still do all this amazing shit,
Zach LaVine had a knee.
You forget that he injured his knee
before even signing with Chicago. He had a knee injury,
but maybe his body is saying, pump the brakes just a little bit. And Zach was smart for listening to his body because I was watching that game because like I was like preparing dinner, I want to say, and then when I just happened to look up and I was like. I ain't see that. I was like, what just happened? I was like, he did like a light pivot. Like nothing happened. And then he just checked himself out the game. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, no. I'm like, he did a pivot. And what happened? I said, because usually when people do that, if you do an injury and no one touches you, those are the scariest injuries when no one touches you.
Yes,
you're scared as hell. Like
your foot, you have an injury. Those are like the ones that you really worry about. You're right about that.
Like he did a light pivot. And I was like, so I was sitting there. They kept on saying, no Bulls fans be optimistic. They're like, he walked out without limping. It was just more of like he was erring on the side of caution. I was like, I want to hear the MRI. And then when they released the MRI. That on
Saturday and they said there's no structural damage.
I think all Bulls fans, we did this.
We know about that from Chicago going back 10 years. Derrick Rose. Exactly 10 years. It's 2012. Exactly.
You just gave me, April 2012.
We all watching that game. We were like,
holding on to his knee and down.
He never got up. He had to be helped off the court. We all were like,
this was my face watching it.
United Center.
My face watching the Derrick Rose interview.
You're a pin dropping that United Center that day. You know the Giants shouldn't be loud. You can hear a pin drop after that shit though.
Yeah.
Everybody was quiet when they were like,
yeah. So it's like, so then, like I said, the MRI looks good. They said he's not expected to miss a lot of time, a few games here. So this is basically saying, hey, take these couple of games. Now we lose. Now who gives a fuck? Bulls are still number 1 in the East. The lowest that they'll go is 3, maybe 4. They're not gonna go out the top 4. Who gives a fuck if they
right now it's a battle between 3 teams in the East. Like,
right, who gives a fuck if they go down a little bit?
It's Bulls, Bucks, and Nets right now. That's the ones that are like battling out.
Miami climbed a little bit.
Miami is lurking. Like I said,
they're lurking. Yeah.
Speaking of the Nets, they're dealing with their own injuries because
AD
Kevin Durant MCL sprain, like no timetable. Return as well. No structural damage. 4 to 6 weeks. It was a sprain, yeah.
So they're saying 4 to 6 weeks. So
so he's
gonna miss some time.
Another one, It's that time of year when shit starts getting real.
Because we are exactly in the middle of the year because 41 games have passed. We are exactly in the middle of the year.
A halfway point.
So it's a halfway point. All-Stars coming up next month.
Mm-hmm.
So All-Stars kind of like we always call it All-Stars like spring break basically for the ball.
And the trade deadline is around that time. Those are like your midpoints of the season when you get to the All-Star.
So as you start building towards that, get the injuries out the way now. Get the COVID, get all that out the way now because April, we're going to need the whole team in April. Everybody should be back and healthy April. If you're going to do stuff, do it now. Get back in April. Do what you need to do now to get yourself rested because it's a long season. And once the playoffs start, everything slows down. Like all the stuff that you were able to run in regular season, you can't run in playoffs. You can't do it. It's just not the same. They're going to trap you in a half. Okay, now I'm getting nerdy.
Regular season is only good for your seeding. So, like, you know where you at, like, number 1 seed, number 2 seed. That's all is good. But once the playoffs start, like, none of that shit matters. It's like, it's only good for your seeding. That's the only purpose of the regular.
And like we always said, like, Popovich was always one of those teams that if the Spurs, we can be an AC, we can eliminate this one. Spurs could always be that team. Like, back then, Spurs was always that we get in the playoffs, we can eliminate anybody above us.
The Rockets with Hakeem and Drexler won a championship as a 6 seed. That's the only team that ever win that low. They won
as a 6 seed.
Yes, because they were like an older team. Like Hakeem, right? They had a lot of
everybody bet them out. Everybody count them out.
They had a lot of vets on that team. So but come playoff time, they're like, we ready.
We ready. Yeah, because veterans know how to play.
They beat them young boys that your team, the Orlando Magic. They beat Shaq.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of Shaq and Penny.
Vet schooled them young boys.
Yeah. 3D beat the shit out of him.
Nick Anderson,
Nick Anderson. We naming the whole team. Like we out here naming teams. Beat the crap out of them. Beat them. But it's like you have to know your sets. You have to run your sets and everything. Like don't get caught playing one person's game. You play your game in the playoffs. You trap people in the half court. You set your defense. You do things like that. You ain't gonna be doing all that running that All-Star weekend stuff. You're not doing that in the playoffs.
I'm glad the Bulls are changing the narrative about 3-point shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Bulls, even though they're number 1 in the East, they like I think bottom 5 in like 3-pointers. So that shows you you can win without the 3 balls.
But the also interesting thing about them, for them to be bottom 5, but they're like number 3 in like percentage accuracy for 3-pointers.
As far as like 3-pointers attempted is what I'm
talking. Attempted, they're like at the bottom, but
they don't shoot that many threes. Like
But that's the interesting thing. Like what we said, that we're like for them to be at the bottom for attempts, but they're still at the top for accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
That shows a lot. That shows that we're not just jacking up threes. Like if we do take a 3, we take it like, okay, I'm going to take this 3 because I'm open. I think I'm going to make it. I'm going to take this because I'm not just going to pull up a half.
It's just like teams got stupid when they saw the Warriors. When you got Steph and Clay, you can shoot.
You got Stephen Curry is an alien for one.
Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, you can shoot as many threes as you want.
Right.
Like that. But like
Draymond even shoots threes. Draymond can even hit the 3.
Yeah, like that's what the team. And when Durant was there, he hit the 3. It's like
Durant, Iguodala could hit the 3.
Yeah, so
like
everybody is gonna be like those guys.
Everybody ain't that team.
The first 2 guys are named. It's like not everybody's gonna be there. So if you play to your strengths, Everybody saw the Warriors winning championships by shooting the three. Said, we're going to shoot the three. Like, no, you're not.
Yeah, pull up at 35 feet and you shoot like, that's going to get you benched. Like I said on a Tom Thibodeau thing, if you pull up at 35 feet away from the rim and you miss everything, you getting seated the next possession.
With 18 seconds left on the shot clock, by the way.
You getting seated. Tom is going to take you out and say, have a seat there. Have a seat right there. You getting benched immediately.
But back in my day, I'm be that old dude now. It's like the three was like that was the icing on your cake. That wasn't your cake.
Mm-hmm.
Three was the icing.
Right.
Yeah, like the Paxson for three. Like
the 3-point was a good thing to have in your arsenal. Basically, it's like a good.
Were mostly a mid range. Like Mike and Scotty were mid range guys.
It's like my 3 points, my secret weapon. It was like that. Like I have a 3-point shot. Like that.
Back in the day, teams played like mid range. Or you played like you had a big man like back to the back shit like a Shaq,
dominating.
Or you had like somebody driving the lane, like that's like the 3-ball was always like optional. Like then it became the game with the Warriors. The game became the 3-ball.
Everybody wanted to shoot threes if they saw the Warriors, and then you don't like, as people say with singers, you don't have the range. Like when people try to do Steph Curry, you don't got the range for that. You don't. I'm sorry to tell you that you don't have it. So don't pull up and try to do what he does.
Play your game.
I've seen him shoot from the toe. I've seen Steph do like trick shots before the game starts, like, just to warm up the fans. And he shoots from the tunnel, basically. And he's made a 3-point from the tunnel. He can do shit like that because he's Steph freaking Curry. So don't try to play his game. But get well, Zach LaVine, of course. Get well, KD, because like I said, I'm a person, even though like the Nets are a direct competition for us, because realistically, we are gonna have to see the Nets in the playoffs realistically at some point. That might be Eastern Conference Finals. I'm just saying, I'm just playing. There might be EC up. I'm just saying.
And I'm a basketball fan, so I want to see I want to see the
best. I want to see
the Bulls at their best, play the Nets at their best.
At their best, right. And then we'll see who is the best.
And we actually enjoy like the game. Like why you don't want to just see like a team win by like 40 every night. Like we actually, which is why I wasn't a fan of that Warriors team with KD.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of
40 every night. I want to see that shit.
They beat the shit out of it.
I want to see like.
I think honestly what happened is that after Zach went down, they just couldn't think about anything but Zach. I think everybody's mind just went out of it because I think the Warriors still would have beat them, but they would not beat them by 40. The Bulls are a better team than that. They would not have won by 40. But once they saw Zach go out, I think everybody's, because they just looked out of sync the whole rest of the game. They just was looking like they looked lost because you see your brother go out the game, you're worried about your brother. So you're not thinking about you're not thinking about the game.
Barring some dumb shit, your NBA champion will either be, like I said, Bulls, Bucks, Nets, Warriors, Suns, Jazz. Like one of those 6 teams will be an NBA champion. That's what I'm calling it now. Barring some crazy shit that happens, like one of those 6 teams NBA champion for 2020.
Those are the 6 best teams in the NBA.
And have been the 6 best for a while.
And have been the 6 best consistently.
Wow, now, yeah. So that's one of those would be barring some.
I don't think that they're just
barring some weird where like an upset happens. Like that's one of those.
I don't think that any of these teams are just peaking. I don't think that any of these teams are just are just regular season teams. I don't think they are. I don't think that they are. Honestly, I can honestly say that. And then we also had like a minor stuff. Whatchamacallit is out again. Whatchamacallit's out. Lonzo Ball is out. He has some knee soreness. So they said with some knee soreness. So hopefully, like we said, like you don't have to be Superman. Like that's why we have a team. Like if we lose a few games here or there, it's okay. We have a whole team. It's okay. Get some rest. Like
I'm worried about his Alex Caruso. Like he's been
like DeRozan. If you need to take some mental health days, DeRozan. Like I would let DeRozan. I would do some load management with him too. I know he's a competitor, but I would be like DeRozan. We need you. We need you to sit out. You can sit out.
I'm worried about right now because he's missed quite a bit of time.
He's still in COVID protocol. They said.
I'm still a little worried about Caruso.
But they said he should be back by Wednesday. They said he should be back Wednesday for the Cavaliers.
I hope he's healthy. Because it seems the last time he came back, he got hurt again. I want him to get healthy because that's a guy you're definitely gonna need.
Yeah. I think that whatchamacallit not sounded funny, but I think that COVID actually helped him out because like now it's like it forced him to sit down because like sometimes like we always say, these guys are fierce competitors. So it's like, yeah, my ankle hurts a little bit, but I can go. No, you need to rest. No, rest. My ankle. No, just rest your ankle. You're good. Just rest. We're gonna need you in the long run. Just rest. So COVID forced you to sit down. It's like, okay, you can't go out. You can't do anything. So COVID forced you to sit down. So yeah, but we'll see what. We'll see what comes about our basketball. Like I said, like we're going to see what comes about it. So
yeah, want to talk about these couples going on right now? Yeah.
What couples?
I got some couples. Let's start with this one.
Why? What couple would that be?
Got some couples to talk about.
What couple would that be?
Jason.
Yeah.
Bonet announcing they are divorcing, so no more Aquaman and Denise Huxtable. They're Splitsville for those two. And they
were such a good-looking couple.
Even though they were together like damn near 20 years. They only been married 4 years. That I didn't know. I thought they were married like years ago. Yeah, I didn't know they just got married like a few years.
Because he always referred to her as his wife, even years and years ago.
Like 15 years. Like I thought they had been married.
But they weren't married until like recently.
They had like 2 kids like before all of that.
Yeah, a daughter and a son.
They got married. Mm-hmm. They got married 4 years ago.
Because they had their kids in 2007 and 8. Because I know they're back-to-back kids. I think they had them in 07 and 08, I think. So yeah, they got 2 children. I mean, I like them as a couple because I thought that they were, I thought they were a cute couple. I thought they were.
It seemed like they were making it work, it seemed like
they matched well together.
Well, they both kind of weird. It seemed like they were good.
Because it seemed like he has like the quirky personality too. It seems like, but
it's like now as you looking back, they point like they said it was cracks in the foundation when they looking.
I'm like. Because the thing of like when he said that he told her he was like when he saw her on TV as a little boy, he was like 8 the first time he saw her on the Cosby Show, and then he said to his mommy, I want that one, because like he was just like so captivated because Denise Lisa is a very beautiful woman. She's very beautiful. So like I mean Lisa was alive. She was an early crush of yours. She was a lot of guys' early crushes. Lisa was a crush that a lot of guys had. So. It's like when he finally did meet her and he shot his shot, okay. But then he said prior to him, he said that he told his mom he was going to like stalk her until he met her. And I'm like, okay, that sounds a little, I mean.
Was he going to do hide underwater and watch him?
I mean, it's like
watch it from a submarine and shit.
I mean, is it cute to like be like, okay, your childhood crush, like one of your early childhood crushes was like Janet Jackson. So if you said that you were going to marry Janet Jackson and you actually married Janet Jackson, it would be like, well, if you marry Janet Jackson, I'm getting tickets to the concert, man. I'm using my game. I'm getting tickets. Oh, wait.
Janet has a new documentary that's coming out too. I'm gonna
watch it.
I think the 31st or something like this coming out in a few weeks.
The 28th, yeah, I think 28th it comes out, yeah. End of the month, yep. So I'm gonna be watching it. But he's
close to the 20-year anniversary of Nipplegate. That was 2004, so it was like 18 years ago. That time went by fast. That was 18 years.
But he said he was going to be a creeping stalker. And then people talked about, they said that possibly the age gap may have been a factor, may have played in because she is 12 years older than him. And
as guys, like it affects you, yeah. Because he's like entering the prime of his life. She's probably already out of her power exiting. Is like he's like just entering his prime, like for the and the age makes a difference, like the older you get.
Because he's 42, she's 54, so.
But yeah, he's in his prime right now. Whereas like at 54, that's either the back end or already out of it. I don't know what that still be. But like 42 is definitely you're in your prime.
So they were saying that may have played a factor in there is the age gap may have played a factor.
There's all kinds of mystery women we're seeing Aquaman with.
Yeah, when I saw that picture of him with that lady, like back in like July or something or It was like in the summer. He was like barefoot somewhere. He was like walking with some woman. He was outside barefoot. I was like, what's going on? That woman is not your wife. Like, I was like, who is that lady? Like, Harpo, who is this woman? I was like, who is that? Like, that ain't your wife. Like, who is this woman that you walking with?
And after that, Lisa became that lock and key type of chick. Like if Jason was out somewhere, she would make him FaceTime or like and show him who was in the room with that kind. And she like that on a marriage like that. Yeah.
And that's a thing that I never want to be. As somebody who is married, like I've been with Marcus. This is what year? 13? Yeah, we've been together 13 years. So we've been together a long time. We've been together 13 years. We've been married. It'll be 9 years and we've been married this year. So we've been together for a long time. But it's like, I never want to be in a relationship like that. Like obviously the goal is you want to do death to you part. Like no one wants to get divorced. Who wants to get divorced? No one wants to get divorced. However, staying in a marriage that isn't working, at the relationship, like you guys are on different pages, you shouldn't stay in a loveless marriage either. But it's like your sanity is worth a lot more. You don't want to be in a marriage where it's like, I'm not going to Jackie Christie. I'm not stalking you. I'm not doing that. I'm just not. I'm not doing that. I'm not. No.
I can't be in the way.
I'm not FaceTiming you to show you who's in the room.
Yeah, okay, like show me a whole hotel. Yeah, can we walk around the whole room so I can see nobody is in?
You ain't got look under the bed because they could be in the bed. Look in the closet. Yeah. Like what? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
We are Kelly. You gonna check the behind the dresser? Looked under the bed. He checked under the bed. In the closet. If you were married to R. Kelly, that's the least of your problems.
I'm not even touching that with him. I'm not touch that. Not touching that.
Don't even know what hog time means and shit.
But I mean, like it's not worth it to me to like be like, who is that? And then you're like checking everything, like you have to follow and like you're keeping somebody like they like basically they said he had a curfew. Like he had a curfew with her.
Yeah, he had a curfew and he had to FaceTime her like throughout the day to show her that
you grown like while you don't have a curfew per se when you're married, it's about respect. They obviously, if you're a married person, you can't go out and stay out till like 8:00 in the morning, just come back. And if you wasn't working a night shift and you come back like, hey honey, you can't do that to your wife or your husband. No married person can do that.
Especially don't let your homies get you in trouble like that because he's trying to avoid his bride. Don't do that. Don't do that, homie.
Right. You can't do
your wife. I'm just saying.
You can't do that. But you know, I say it's about a common courtesy. Like I said, if you're going out to a party, you're hanging out with friends, and if you hang out like 2-3 in the morning, you come home, okay. But I say like coming in like and the sun's already up and kids are getting ready for school, you can't do that. Obviously, you can't. You know, you can't. But I mean, it's not about a thing about that you have a curfew, but it's respect. But that's why when I saw that the curfew thing and I'm like the FaceTime and I'm like, yeah, he probably was like, I can't do this. Like I can't do this. And then with him, like when they first got together, obviously he was an up and coming actor, but now he's freaking Aquaman.
The A-list now, yeah.
He's Aquaman.
Yeah, he's A-list. Yeah. So
it's like women we know are. I'm sure, like I said, I saw my post on Facebook. Like, okay, I'm gonna slide in his DM now. I already saw the thirst for people saying I'm sliding in his DM. And then I saw the meme that said, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you have 0 chance with Jason Momoa. I don't know who needs it. Hey, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, but you have 0 chance. I agree.
Find the fucking gif of him like with the fucking he flips the chair and shit.
Oh yeah, I think it was a game.
I'm gonna post that in that for you. Yeah, you have no when he has those, y'all know, little folder weights in the picnic chairs. Yeah.
There's a little thing. He was like
flicks the chair with one hand.
He's on the game, yeah.
Hey, we'll find that gif of Aquaman flicking the chair.
I mean, I agree. I agree, but it's like my thing is that I hope that, like I said, because their children are still minors, their kids, so like let it be an amicable split. Let it be like, okay, we were both on two different pages. You were here, I was here.
Successfully co-parent, even though
let it be a successful co-parenting, because we see that she successfully co-parented with Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, they actually like best friends. Like, yeah, her and Lenny.
Yeah, they actually co-parented well with their daughter.
Yeah, and even to this day, the two of them are like very close. Like, yeah,
they're good. And even like he was good friends with Lenny.
Lenny, yeah, like when him and Lisa got together, he got to know Lenny too.
Yeah, he became like good friends. Like you would see them like out like having like a beer. It's like, okay, like all right, do you like that? But like it's always about the children. If you got small children, if you got minor children under 18, you gotta be able to co-parent with your baby mama, ex-wife, baby daddy, ex-husband, whatever you got to, because you don't want it to be a hot mess. You don't.
We'll talk about the other couple of the day.
Yeah.
Engaged now. MGK and Megan Fox. There we go.
And then we drank what?
And drank each other's blood, so they got weird and shit. Because like they posted the things, and then Megan Fox is when it got weird and shit. I'm gonna look at that right now because they both posted on their social media, like she said yes, or they doing the whole Wiz Khalifa thing with the tongue too, and mother. And then Megan Fox posted on her shit, and then we drank. Here it is right here, from Megan Fox's Instagram. It's like, yeah, the last time we sat under the barnyard tree, we asked for magic. We were oblivious to the pain. We were faced together in such a short time, for any period of time, unaware of the work and sacrifice the relationship will require from both of us. But the intoxicated off of love, but then the karma, somehow a year and a half later, having walked through hell together and having laughed more than ever imagined, he asked me to marry him. And just as in every lifetime before this one, as in every time I'm to follow it, I said yes. And then we drank each other's blood. So it went from all of this, and then it just got weird out of nowhere. Like,
you know who else drank blood? Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob. And we see how that turned out. Don't drink your man's blood. Don't drink your lady's blood. Don't drink blood.
They did a lot of that. They tongue shit too. Like a lot of those couples.
Like
and all
you're
of
not.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Couples that do that, it's like Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose, and then Billy
Kanye and Amber Rose did first.
Yeah. It's like the tongue shit does, like most of those relationships seems to end for some reason. So hopefully,
because it's like
MGK and Megan Fox make it work.
It's like, because it's like you're performing for people. It's like, haven't you noticed that the people who stay married for 40 years, you'll see them walk a red carpet. They take a picture. They do ting, ting, ting. But then they be like Denzel and his wife. They've been married like 40 years. They ain't out there being extra.
Vance and Angela Bassett, they've been together for like
25, 30 years, however. Yeah.
They've been together for a minute.
It's the 90s. Yeah. Which would call Sam Jackson and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Like the couples who be like the long term, like who they be like, yeah, like everybody knows I'm obviously married. That's how they do that. Everybody knows I have a wife, or everybody knows I have a husband, and we walk our red carpets together. We take some nice pictures together, but we ain't out there being
and his wife, yeah.
Hectic. We ain't out there doing like, nah, like the blood thing that threw me. I knew they got engaged, but I didn't know about the blood. That's weird as hell.
Okay, that just got weird out of nowhere. So, oh, look at the happy couple.
It feels a lot like Angelina and Billy Bob. It feels a lot like that to me.
Kind of a whirlwind like theirs was too. Like, yeah.
Because Billy Bob was actually engaged like to, what was her name? Lorna Dern, I think was her name.
And Megan Fox was married to Brian Austin Green when she started messing with MGK. So it's like, she was still married to do it.
Yeah, because with the Billy Bob situation, it's like he had went to go do a movie, and that's how he met Angelina Jolie. Well, Angelina meets guys on, well, okay. She meets guys on movies that are involved in. Yeah. So that's what happened. He married a movie, and that's what the lady said that was engaged to Billy Bob. She said, my fiance went to go and do a movie, and then he just never came back. Basically, that's what happened. Like, damn. Like, he went on this movie set, and then he met this broad, basically, and just never.
Hey, put your mother on the phone. Yeah.
I ain't never coming home. Click.
That shit. Billy Bob's son.
Basically, that's what happened. She had to basically read about it and think, like, that sucks. Like, you know, you engaged to somebody. Well, let's run it back. They said that's what happened with Aquaman. Because Jason Momoa, before Lisa, he was engaged to another actress.
Another chick. I think and I think it was like messy. I think he was still engaged to her.
He was, like I said, because I forgot her name now, but she was an actress, and she was engaged to him. He met Lisa through mutual friends. Like they were at a bar or whatever. They were at a restaurant, whatever.
As you mentioned earlier, Lisa was the dream girl. So like, yeah, he's like, but now I'm engaged to this other broad I done met my dream girl. It's like, what do I do? It's like that. Yeah.
And he said, entanglement.
August Alcina.
Entanglement. An entanglement. No, but that's what happened because his ex-fiance said that, like, you know, he never really broke his engagement to her. It's just like they still had their wedding day. They were supposed to get married. He started messing with Lisa in like 2004. They were supposed to get married in 2006, and then him and Lisa had their kid in 2007. So it was like he just never called off his engagement, basically. So
yeah, I ain't never coming home either. Everybody did it Sunday.
I mean, it gets to be messy. It does. That type of shit is messy. And these relationships. That's what I said. Like, let's start that for 2022. Instead of stringing people and your relationships with somebody, don't hold people in limbo.
Kanye, he's still married. I'm just saying.
Oh, and speaking of them, did you see the messy shit with that?
Well, I mentioned it. First of all, I get like he bought a house right across from her, like first, but it's weird. But if he's like one of Sabine Nair's kids, like I'll allow it. It's like if that's the reason why he bought it, because like it's like they say he did. Is when I saw the story, it's like Kanye buys house directly across from.
What were they doing on Facebook a little while ago? The red flag. I started seeing red flags. Like, I don't want an ex-husband living across the street from me. I get that we're co-parenting kids. We can live in the same neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Los Angeles is big enough where you can live in the same neighborhood, but directly across the street. Mm-hmm. So that's a little much.
Strike one right there.
That's a little much right there. I was like, okay, that's a red.
Kim and Kanye best because it's on TMZ as well. I saw it.
Yeah, but when I saw that messy story, so Kim and Kanye have 4 children, all minor age. Obviously, they have minor age children. With North being North is what, like maybe 9, I want to say. Mm-hmm. She's about 9, like 8 or 9. I know that she's getting close to double digits. Mm-hmm. And they have a child, Chicago West, a little girl. She looks just like Kim. She's so cute. She just turned 4. I remember she was born at the beginning of 2018. Yes, so she just turned 4. And Kim was having a birthday party for her. And Kanye went live. And as you always say, when you put a mic in front of Kanye, interesting shit happens.
One of the most fascinating dudes. Like,
interesting things happen. When he opens his mouth, it's just...
It's always, it's always going to be epic when Kanye talks it.
Because Kanye, as we discover things as we get older, because Kanye is in his mid-40s now, and I've discovered that when you get over 40, your filter starts to fade. When you get over, it's just something that naturally your filter starts to fade. And as you get older,
old people like zero fucks given.
They have zero. Like our mom has a zero filter. Our mom has no filter.
Zero filter.
I gotta tell my mom, shut up and tell her like, stop that.
Like remember back in the day when we were little, our mother was back in the day, like you get old, you just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, grandma was off the chain. She was. Grandpa was off the chain with her.
So like Kanye knows, so you stop giving a shit about stuff when you get older.
So what happened with him is that he just basically started a live post that showed that he was locked out his child's party.
I got the story.
And I was like, what the hell?
I got the story. I got the story for you.
Like, what is he? Because I thought that it was good between them. I thought it was an amicable thing.
He blocked me from seeing my kids because Pete Davidson was in the house. He in the house. There we go. Too soon. Allegedly, it said like Pete Davidson was at the party. Pete Davidson denied. He said he's never even been to Kim's house. He said he wasn't there. Kanye said that he was blocked from, according to Hollywood Unlocked, he was going to see his kids because Pete Davidson was inside the house. So, what Kanye is saying. But I'm going to find this Pete Davidson story, which also people that, no, I've never even been there before. So
yeah, because he said he's never been there. But they would not give the address of the location. And the reason how Kanye said he got the address, because he said he tried to ask everyone, even Tristan, and no one would give it to him. But he said Travis did give him the address. Well, he thinks Travis gave him the address.
I have that story too. I don't know. He said that Pete said he's never been to Kanye. He's never been there to Kim's house. Yeah. Said explain why we're invented at what kind of shoes, but says the Pete, Pete was not there, nor was Kim. She wasn't even there, so that's crazy. Kim wasn't even at the Celeste, right?
It's just getting messy. So my thing is with kids, it's like you have to put your differences aside when you have kids in the middle. You have to. If you divorced and you happen to have children, young children, you have to put that aside. Put it aside. Do what's best for you and the kids. Do what's best for the kids.
And they got 4 of them, so they get together.
That was a hot mess. Yeah. And he was on the live talking about they locked me out and I'm asking them for the address. No one's giving me the address. I just want to see my child. And then he kept on mentioning that how much money he has. And I'm like,
I pictured Baby Boy when Jody was outside of the vet's apartment.
You said who?
I want to see my son. A baby boy when Jody was outside of the vet's apartment. She shouldn't let him in. But I picture Kanye.
I want my daddy. I want to see my son.
See my son. Too soon. And finally, before we wrap up, so see we going long now. Tiffany Haddish, she's arrested.
I saw that.
Says she allegedly fell asleep at the wheel. What they say. Her mug is epic though. She ready even mugshot. It's Long Tiffany when he was arrested in Peachtree Street. She was getting booked for DUI. She messed him up. We already said. See yes, response to a call of a driver at fault is asleep wheel. Off the description of the vehicle on the lookout when they spotted Tiffany pulling the neighborhood. So there it is. Yes, she fell asleep at the wheel. So that's how they call
it. Do some community service. Donate your time. That's what I say.
Or call you a fucking Uber. There's no excuse for like driving.
Yeah, I mean, like nowadays, it's like you can get your Uber.
Yeah.
Your Uber is your designated driver. You can just get an Uber nowadays.
Yeah. Now you just do it now. That's all.
So give her some community service. Let her serve the people. Let her do something constructive, I say.
I'm just saying she didn't have a DUI when she was with Comp, but we ain't had no.
Don't let that man in your head, lady. Ladies, we have to stop doing that.
Wrap this up at another damn podcast. 242. We appreciate you supporting the podcast. You want to support further? To do, give us a like. That's it. Also, subscribe, share, rate, review on platforms. Tumble, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Sound, iHeart, TLC Talk Radio. What up, Tasha?
Hey.
YouTube and your Amazon Alexa devices. Also, follow me at Oz Music on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Oz Radio on Snapchat and Facebook as well. You know.
And you can check me out, MSIMA8626 on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Also, SDR8GULLEY1 on Twitter, SDR8GULLEY7 on Instagram. Also, please like the Straight Gully Facebook fan page. Check out straightgully.com for your blogs and your vlogs. And for your video production needs, check out straightgullyproductions.com.
I'm Ozman the Wizard.
And Naima.
We will talk to you later.
Bye.
I'm going.